Hi everyone! Today I'll demonstrate you how to use the DEIP Modules library to create and connect a small custom application to the DEIP platform. Modules are implemented using the Vue framework and the Utify components library, so we'll create a basic Vue application and connect Utify for ease of demonstration. Since our modules require some mandatory environment variables that are being fetched asynchronously from the server, we'll emulate these conditions locally in the development environment. So, the preparation is finished. Let's try to run it. After making sure that everything works correctly, we add modules that we need to our application. So, it's time to explain. We created a file named dev.env and set all required environment variables for the application. Created a proxy file for our configuration. Also, we added a development server and created an endpoint to fetch the config for our application. Since our modules are raw source files, we added all the DEIP modules to the transpile block, so that the bundler processes them as a regular code. We also installed several modules for Babel to make ES6 features available, and put it all together. Now, let's take a look at how it works in more detail. Create App class is a kind of application initializer. Since modules are plugins for the Vue essentially, their installation and initialization perform synchronously. That means we can add modules in arbitrary order, ignoring their dependencies on other modules while bootstrapping. The Vue plugin itself is just an object with the install function that allows us to easily extend the object for our needs. As a result, the base object of a module has the following members: install, the basis of the Vue plugin; init, a function that is called before the install function and passes a certain result to it; deps, an array of dependencies; and name, a key to these dependencies. Modules can inject global variables, utilities, state managers known as stores, and other mixins into the application. They are composable parts of modules and can be used as pluggable components inside the application in a free method. The create app class itself has the add module and bootstrap methods. Add module method adds modules to the initializer internal repository. Bootstrap method installs all modules and dependencies in the required order to build and run the application correctly. If a module has the init function, it gets executed. Initialization chain uses JavaScript promises. After the required preparation is done, we can initialize our application. All dependencies must be explicitly added to the initializer repository. If any dependency is not found, the builder will throw an error and stop running the application. The first and the most important module is the environment module. It receives all required variables from the server and distributes them to the rest of the modules. Also, it passes instances of the app router, store, and other components that are required in modules to a proxy. We will return back to the proxy utility a bit later. Validation plugin is a form validator which is used in modules and can be used across the application. Beautify Extended is a collection of advanced components in Beautify that has a bunch of extensions to build user interfaces. Auth module is a module that is responsible for user authentication and authorization. Users module is a module that is responsible for fetching user data, setting the state of the current user, and is a dependency of the auth module. Now let's create a local representation of a module in our application. Since we follow the approach of the modular infrastructure as the basis, the local representation will be a sort of a dedicated module that will reflect the functionality of our application, utilizing the base module functionality. Are you tired of coding? Now let's move to the explanation again. As I said earlier, the local representation of a module in the application is also a module, or a wrapper over a using module. We have created two functional units, authorization layer and a list of users. Both views have a structure similar to modules from the library. They have their own routing and page view components. Do you remember the proxy D utility? It's time to get back to it. The proxy D is a kind of singleton container that delivers its data across your application. After we connected the environment module and passed an instance of the app router to it, the instance became available in all places where it's used. Let's go to our pages. As you can see, both modules import and use some out-of-the-box components. Most of such components have two states, basic, as in our case, and customized, where you, for example, can redefine a view of a form. Also, the appearance of many components can be specified by using the render screen, but this is a topic for another video. Apart from pre-configured components, some modules have data provider components in their composition. Basically, such data provider components do not render views. Their task is to deliver the necessary data in the application. You can see an example in the list of users. So, we have put together our demo application. It's quite simple, but in my opinion, it's sufficient to show the basics of working with DEIP modules library. As you have seen, the base collection of supplied modules is not a limiter for your requirements. You can use out-of-the-box components or extend them with custom changes to address your specific needs. Even if you are not satisfied with default components implementation and their capabilities, you can still use DEIP modules as providers of methods, storage functions, and meetings to build your own solutions. Thank you for watching. See you in other DEIP videos.